Hello, fourth graders. Welcome to lesson 1.2, Read and Write Numbers. This is our second flip lesson of the year. Remember, on this screen, you need to pause and write the lesson number and title in your notebook. Today's lesson objective is I can read and write numbers in standard form, word form, and expanded form. Please pause again to write the lesson objective. We have some vocabulary to go over today with this lesson. I'm going to talk about it, and then you need to write this in your math notebook. So today we're going to talk about 3 different ways that we typically see numbers. You probably have seen these before. The 3 ways we write numbers are standard form, word form, and expanded form. Standard form, which is our first example, is the way we typically see numbers. Written out, commas in between. This looks like your typical number. This first number is 262,400. Notice that I say thousand right there where the comma is, because that's where the thousands place ends and where before I move to the hundreds. So again, that number is 262,400. We're going to use that same number as all of our examples, but we're going to look at it in a couple different ways. So the next way we're going to look at it is word form. Word form is the written form of a number if you were to spell it out. So here's that same number, 262,000. Look, that comma is in the exact same place. Comma after the 2,000, comma after the 2,000. Or I can also write it in expanded form. An expanded form is kind of like what we learned yesterday, where we take all of the value of its digits and we add them together. So the 2 is in the hundreds, thousands place, so it is worth 200,000. So I write this number, 200,000. Then I add it to the place value of the 6. The 6's value is in the 10,000s place, but I have 6 of them, so that means I have 60,000. So I add 60,000. Then the 2 is in the 2,000s place, so I add 2,000. And then I have 400, so I add 400. So I have 200,000 plus 60,000 plus 2,000 plus 400. And that is the expanded form. Please pause to write down these sentences in black and examples in pink in your notebook. Alright, we are in your math book pages now, looking at the Unlock the Problem. This Unlock the Problem is going to have us looking at how we read and write numbers. Let's read it together. It says, the International Space Station uses 262,400 solar cells to convert sunlight into electricity. That's the same number that we were writing before in our examples, so we should know what to do with it. Now it's going to give us something to do. It's going to give us an instruction. It says write 262,400 in standard form, word form, and expanded form. So, first we're going to use a place value chart. A place value chart is going to help us organize where each of these numbers go and the value of each number. So it says each group of 3 digits is separated by a comma. And that is called a period. So this section here where the thousands are is called 1 period. And then this section where all of the hundreds are is also called a period. Each period has a hundreds, tens, and ones place inside it. So if we look at this period here, we have a 1, a 10, and a 100. Then we move over to the thousands period, and once again I have a 1, a 10, and a 100. So now I have my number, 262,400. So we know we have 200,000, 60,000. We have 2 in the 1,000s place. And we have 400. We don't have any 10s and we don't have any 1s. This is what this number looks like in a place value chart. Below are the examples you wrote down in your notebook: the standard form, the word form, and the expanded form. Let's look at the Math Talk question on the right. The Math Talk question says which digit has the greatest value in 262,400? Well, you might think that it's the 6 because it's the biggest number in that number, but it's really the 2 because the 2 is farthest to the left. It's in the biggest place value. That 2 is worth 200,000. That's a pretty big 2. Alright, we're underneath the unlock the problem now where it says try this. We're going to try some problems together. So in problem A, we don't have a standard form, but we do have a word form and an expanded form with a hole. So let's see if we can fill in those other 2 holes. So let's look at the standard form because it's the one that gives us the most information right now. So it says 92,170. Okay, so let's look down at our expanded form. We see we have 90,000, we have 2,000, and we have 70. We're missing something in the middle. So let's look back up here. It looks like we're missing the 100. We have the 90, we have the 2, and we have the 70. We're missing the 100. So let's fill in the 100. Now let's write this number in standard form. So we have 92,170. Now we have standard form, word form, and expanded form. Let's try this again with example B. This one, they gave us the standard form, but we need to fill in the holes for word form and expanded form. So in our standard form, we have 200,000, remember that's where the comma is, 7. 200,007. So look at our word form. We have 200, well, what's that word that comes right before the comma? The place value, 1,000. And the last thing that's in our number, 200,007. Now in our expanded form, we know that 7 is only worth 7 because it's in the ones place. But we have another digit in there. It's the 2. And we want the value, how much that 2 is worth. So that 2 is worth 200,000. Now because all of the other numbers in our number are zeros, we're all done. Great job, guys. You finished flip lesson number 2. You're almost done. Go back to your teacher's website and fill out the exit slip. See you tomorrow.